Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got another mold to show you guys today. This is the 6-inch finesse worm from Epic Bait Molds. It is a great mold and a super versatile bait. And I'm gonna show you how to make up your own finesse worms, specifically in the methylate color from Lureworks. This is an OG color for a finesse worm. It's really hard to beat. And I want to show you guys how to make your own. And then after we get through the making process, I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can rig this bait to help you find some success on your body of water. But we're going to flip over. I'm going to get some bait plastics hot. I'm going to show you the whole process, leave links to everything, and let's get started. Let's talk plastic blends. It depends kind of what manufacturer you use, but I use Bait Plastics. I'm going to be using Bait Plastics 292 for this. If you have 242, you can also use 242. Doesn't really matter as much on which one you choose. It's all about personal preference. This jug says 242, but I actually use 292 and I buy it in 5-gallon buckets and then transfer it to these 1-gallon containers so it's easier to move around. But make sure that you mix this up good. If you have a mixer on a drill, that works extremely well. And we're gonna put 2 cups of this down in to this Pyrex cup. Make sure you have a good Pyrex cup so you don't melt it in the microwave. Set that out of the way. And then we're gonna be using Lureworks Methylate. You can pick this up from Lureworks website. You can Google them, or I will actually leave a link in the description below for you. And we're gonna put 80 drops of this in this 2-cup amount of plastisol while it is still cold. I usually don't do this, but for methylate and like jelly apple and a couple colors, I will add it to the plastic while it is cold. Make sure you shake up your pigment extremely well. And now I'm going to add 80 drops of this to this 2-cup amount of cold plastisol. I actually looked back at my recipe while I was putting these drops in here, and I told you 80, but I've been doing 120, so it matches everything else in my lineup. I am going to continue to do 120 drops for a 2-cup amount. If you're doing 1 cup, do 60, just cut that in half. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and correct that for you guys so that you are aware. Then we'll give this a little mix. Careful, it is extremely thin while it is still preheat. Now that we got that mixed up, it's obviously a really weird pink color, but don't worry, it will turn into the color that we all know after we heat it. Next thing we need to do is transfer this over to the microwave. I've got a 700-watt microwave, and every microwave is different, so go slow the first couple times you do this until you get a feel for it. I'm gonna throw it in there for 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna do 1-minute intervals after that until I get it up to 360 to 370 degrees. Make sure you're stirring when you take the temp, and if you don't have one, get you an infrared thermometer. It'll make your life so much easier. We've got our plastisol up to temp now. One thing I will mention that I probably don't mention it enough on the channel, you should always wear a respirator and work in a well-ventilated area. With filming, that becomes a little bit of a challenge sometimes, but anytime I am not filming, I am wearing a good respirator. So get you a good respirator, and it's also a good idea to wear you some gloves. I've been doing this a long time. I'm pretty careful, so I'm just gonna show you exactly how we're going to inject this. I've got it here, we're doing 1 color, so orientation doesn't matter. This is a Amazon injector that I picked up on Amazon. You don't have to have nothing fancy. I'm trying to show you how to do this without all of the fancy equipment. So this is what we're going to be doing. I'm just gonna pull this up, and then I'm gonna spin it to make it quit dripping. We're just gonna push a little bit out the end, and then we'll do an injection here. There we go. We're gonna hold pressure for just a second, and then we will top it off. And there we go. Put the rest back in the cup. We will wait a couple minutes for it to cool down. Here is some finished baits for you to take a look at. I just made a handful of them. This is all out of that 2-cut Pyrex that we heated up in the video, and I have not done any remelts. So all the sprues, the runners, the pucks that come out of the injectors, all that stuff can be remelted, as well as baits that you have torn up. If you're just wanting to make some for yourself, you can remelt all of that and make yourself some more baits. But I'll pull one of these out for you to look at here. Get you a better look at it. It has a flat side, and then it has a rounded side. So here is the flat side here. You can kind of see it there in the light. And then it has a rounded side on this. But we're gonna get into doing some rigging, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I would rig this 4 different ways. The first rigging method I'm gonna be showing you today in no particular order is the shaky head. This is what a shaky head looks like. I'll show you how I get this on here in just a second. But what's cool about the bait plastics is it has a neutral buoyancy. So when you get this thing on a shaky head, it wants to stand up. But it's very easy to get these on here. All you have to do is, if yours has a screw eye, then you're gonna wanna take it, poke it on there, and then just start screwing it on until you get it all the way up to the base of that head. And then I like to kind of get the flat spot toward the hook, poke it through, and then you kind of want to watch, because you don't want too much of that hook sticking out, or you will get hung up, because this is going to be on the bottom. You're just gonna want to drag this around on the bottom, and like I said, that tail will float up, and it is a great way to catch fish. Not all of the shaky heads have the screw lock. Some of them don't have it, and you just put the hook through the top of the head here, and then poke it back out and just slide that up and do the exact same thing there. But yeah, that is method number 1, which is the shaky head. Method number 2 is going to be the wacky rig. You can do this weightless, or you can do it with a weighted VMC head like this. This one is a little bit big for this worm, but it's good for illustration purposes. And all you want to do is find the middle of that worm where it is an upside down U, and hook it through the middle like that. You can also hook it in line with the worm and do a nail weight, and that will give you a Nico rig as well, if that is something you are interested in doing. The Nico is not one I'm going to be showing off, but it is extremely easy to do with this as well. But there it is on a wacky rig. You'll notice these next 2 are actually attached to line that is attached to the poles that I was fishing with today, if that gives you any reference that I actually do use these techniques. This is going to be a Texas rig. Super popular technique and very easy to do. So we have a bobber stop that we put on the line, and then we have a bullet weight, and then I like to do a straight shank hook. I don't like to do the EWGs, but it's totally personal preference on how you do it, but this is how I like to do it. And all we're gonna do for this is poke it through the head here just a little ways, and then we're gonna pull it back out, slide it up on that head here, and I like to go ahead and put the eye inside of that plastic. And then from the same way, just on the flat side, I take it, poke it where it's not quite poking through the plastic, but get it really close, put that bullet weight on there, and then slide my bobber stop back down, and then you have a Texas rig. This is a great bait, very popular all over the country, and every single fish I caught in the tournament I was fishing today was caught on a Texas rig like this. But that is a great way to fish pretty much any kind of worm, and that is the Texas rig. This last rig is the trickiest of the ones to rig out of the 4 I'm showing you today, and that is the drop shot. I like to do the drop shot with a nose hook, and this is how I rig it. I have a ball sinker that is a drop shot weight on the bottom, and then I have my drop shot hook here. Now I tie a Palomar knot. There's a million different ways you can do this, but the main thing is that when the weight's on the bottom, you want that hook to stand out like that. And the better you can get it to 90 degrees, or the closer you can get it to 90 degrees, the better. And it is a little tricky to get used to. You may have to practice tying it a few times, but I tie a Palomar knot on my hook, and then I run it down and tie my sinker here. That is a 1/4 ounce sinker, but it really just depends on how much wind is there the day you're fishing as to what weight you're going to want to use. As far as the bait itself, I just like to nose hook it. So come through the nose here, and there you go. That is all you gotta do, super easy. And we also caught fish on this today. All of our keepers caught on the Texas rig, like I said, but that is the drop shot. Well, I hope I gave you a good idea how to make your own finesse worms at home using this epic bait mold. And it is a great bait. All the ways I showed you how to rig it are extremely effective. And I hope you guys catch a bunch of fish going out there doing exactly that. If you want to pick up the mold that we used today, this will be available at epicbaitmolds.com. I'll leave a link in the description. This is the 5-cavity version. If you're making them for yourself, this is plenty. They also have a 10-cavity version if you want to do production or go a little bit faster. The 10-cavity version is also available. If you want to pick up any of these baits to try, I keep these baits in 16 different colors on the website. And you can pick some up. I'm gonna have a bunch of the methylate because I'm making a bunch of it for this video. And there'll be a bunch of them on the site as well. I'll try to leave links to Lure Works for the methylate, bait plastics, all that other stuff that you might need for the process of making these at home for yourself. And if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. It helps the channel out tremendously. And until next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.